Welcome back. We're so glad to have you back with us, and I still hope you have the pens in your hand and paper in front of you to take down a lot of information that we're going to be providing. This time we're going to be talking about transportation, and there's a lot of information that so many people in our community don't know. Some think they know some of it, but we want to clarify all of that for you. And we have two experts here that are going to be telling you all about it. The first one, of course, is Salli Kerr, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves after I tell you just something about them. Salli is the chair of the Transportation Committee, and she rules with an iron fist and makes sure that everything is right on target. And of course, we have Albert Bass. He's the mobility manager for our area and doing a fantastic job. So Salli, tell us about yourself quickly and how you got involved in this.
Okay, so I've been involved with the Transportation Committee for about 3 years now.
Okay.
Noticing that there's a need for transportation. So
Yes.
we have watched community needs assessments. We have spoken with people in our community. Now in the social services arena here in Pahrump, I know that need every single day. And so to take it from a piece of paper that tells us that there's a need to the personal needs of people that I see on a daily basis that transportation will impact. So I just felt very strongly that we come together and agreed to chair that committee as our last person left, and hopefully get to move it through the last phase of getting it actually wheels on the ground here in Pahrump.
Okay. That's Salli, that's our chair, and Albert?
I came on board as a mobility manager for the Southern Nevada rural communities in 2014. And that position was created through RSVP initially, but NDOT was supporting mobility managers, which are used greatly through many other counties and states across the nation. Some states have as many as 60 or 70 mobility managers in them. So there's myself for Southern Nevada, and we have one more operating in up in Lake Tahoe for their transit programs up there. And so coming into looking at transit for the first time through a program, and with the Transportation Committee, obviously there was huge needs.
Yes.
This committee has been working on this for about 17 years now.
Yes.
From the initial phases of trying to get public transportation in place to where we are today. And they've come a long ways. When I operated a company out here for 8 years, one of the greatest needs that I found for my company was the lack of public transportation for our clients. So I knew there was a need there, but as Salli alluded to, starting to work with the committee and all these other programs and organizations, the need was far greater than I even ever deemed it to be. And there have been multiple assessments and studies done by the state and other organizations, even private organizations that were hired to do these studies to look at the transit needs of our communities. All of those have shown there's a great need. Just a year and a half ago, we had the Community Transportation Association of America. We were awarded a grant for the first time in the state of Nevada to work with our Transportation Committee, and they did a very in-depth study that looked at our community as a whole, looked at our county, and said what they found to be the needs. And everything we had done up to that point was right in line with what they found as well. So their study said that, we needed a demand response system to service this community. The economic benefit would be greatly beneficial, but the social economic benefits were great, far greater in this community for the things that Salli said. So it's been fantastic working with him, and we've come a long ways in just this last 3 years, and we're very close in working with NDOT and our local county commissioners and putting a program together.
Okay. Now you mentioned demand response. For those out there that don't know what demand response is, what does that mean?
Demand response is a public transportation system where basically, if you know on today's Monday and you know on Thursday you need a ride to a certain location, you can make a phone call, say who you are, your location, your pickup location at your home, give us the location of where you need to go, and the bus arrives at your location on that day to pick you up at a specific time, takes you to the location you need to go, and then at another time that you've arranged, takes you back home. So it's not a routed system to where it's just a bus going in circles. It's as needed. So they respond to the needs of the community and the people who call in to have a transportation need.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to pick on Salli for just a minute and ask, who would normally use the demand response system? Now, I know it could be used for the entire community, but who are the most prevalent people that would normally need transportation?
Well, oftentimes it's the low-income workers. And
Okay.
so people that are having problems with transportation getting to and from work, or don't take jobs because they don't have transportation to work. And this would give them the ability to actually go to work and have a job, and we'll see significant improvement in people's status in life. I mean, like how they can cope with life in general when they can get back and forth to a job.
Okay, I heard one person, I don't want to pick on anybody in particular, but I heard one person say, well, I have a car. Why would we need transportation in Pahrump?
Well, because they can't carry everybody in town in their car. I suppose
That's
they
a
could if
good
they wanted
point.
to be an Uber driver. They could probably do that and carry a lot of people around. And again, it's for the people that do have the need. I have a car. I have no need for a bus.
Okay.
I've used buses when I go to other locations where I don't have a rental car. Next week in Texas, I'll probably use their public transit system
Okay.
throughout that whole week. But, you know, we have over 13,000 residents over the age of 60. We have about 7,000 that are statistically shown to be in the poverty level. And then we have 4,000 residents which are reported to be disabled. Those are the mass target areas that that people would utilize the public transit system.
And I can speak to even a more specific group than that, because as
And
I
what's-
look at children that are in foster care, they
Okay.
can't get a driver's license unless their foster parent has the relationship where they will literally sign for them and take legal and fiscal responsibility for that child. That child can't get a driver's license. And so,
Wait a minute. I did not know that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure many of you didn't know that either.
right.
Okay.
Right. And so now I have a group of young people that want to go have that first job experience. They really do want to go work at Burger King like it should be.
Okay.
And how do we get them there? Because they can't get a driver's license. Their foster parents now have to take them back and forth. They're turning 17. They're aging out of foster care. They don't have a driver's license yet. They're 18. They're 19. They want that experience, and can be greatly benefited and directly served by this program. And I can point to them and say, these.
We also have a large group of people in Pahrump that are, I'm going to say, sight limited.
Mm-hmm.
And this is desperate for them.
Right.
Right.
Right, because right now, the deficits right now are if it's not medically, so if it's not because of a medical appointment or, serving medical need, there isn't a ride available for them. I mean, the limitations in our programming mean that this fills some gaps that, yes, we have some other programs available, senior center and some other places, but there are big gaps in those services by age, by things like that programming doesn't allow for, that this comes in and takes
Okay,
care of.
I know our audience has some questions on what is this going to cost the individuals to ride, approximately. When we look at it, if you call for a taxi, you may be priced out. Is this going to really hit the pocketbook in a way that they can't afford to go to work?
We're expecting those fares will be between $2 and $4 per ride. And so
That's doable.
it's very doable for somebody who's working on a job and they need 4 days a week, they need transportation to and from work. We're talking about under a $20 bill a week.
Oh,
And other programs, depending on where some of our funding sources are, cover those rides, like for veterans. Right now, our veterans are getting rides through the VetTrans program for free at no cost. Seniors with the ADSD program, when they're putting money into the program, their seniors are riding for free. Youth under a certain age are riding for free, as long as they're riding with an adult. So, there's the middle-aged population there, that you might say, that have charges applied to public transportation. Again, we keep it very low and very affordable, kind of on the scale where it is with the rest of the rural counties in the state. Being we're the last rural county of our type, with our type of population, with no mass public transportation, all we have to really go off of is the other rural counties in the state and towns to see how those programs have worked in those areas. And that's what we base a lot of our information and our projections off of.
okay, when you talk about the community assessments, and you said there have been numerous community assessments and they've all shown this need, who participates in the community assessments?
The community assessments are done by private organizations or state organizations. They go and look at statistical data for our community. They talk to people in the community. They talk to organizations. They talk to local political leadership within those communities. They put a lot of information together from as much as they can get for that locale, And then they look at the other places around the state and even country that are very similar to our community.
Okay.
They take the statistics and the data from those areas and they put it all together to get median data. They call it median data for our area. Like they show the median data for our area would be about 63,000 rides a year of one-way trips.
Okay.
I mean, it's huge. And with the current vehicles we have now within the senior center or the taxi program, you know, it would take 2 or 3 more other programs on top of that to even fill the actual median need.
So you're not knocking one program out to
Oh,
have this.
absolutely. No.
No.
It's just expanding upon the need and filling the gaps we have now so that we can provide service to everybody, not just limited people who are financially limited or by age or by program, as Salli said, for just medical use. It would be open to the whole community without any restriction.
So I want to add a couple things to that. So one of the last public community assessments that was done actually included focus groups and places where the public could come meet. And I think they met typically at the Nugget and would have a period of time when just people from the public arena could go talk to them. So it wasn't just, you know, political leaders or just coming to talk to, you know, like us in programming, but literally their goal was to get in direct touch with the public.
So you're saying that the community itself had input into these community assessments?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That-
And they will in the future as well, moving
Right.
forward.
Okay.
The other thing is it is important for people watching to understand that we don't want to impact other programs at all. There's such a need here that not only do we not want to impact programs, but the funders of this kind of transportation expect us to show them a plan of how we're all going to cooperate, how we're going to collaborate, how we're going to work with each other. Part of what we say to them is we have developed communication, we have developed relationships with other communities, with other providers in our community, and we're going to meet the need on a bigger picture, and they expect us to be able to show that to them.
Okay. So everybody working together to make it work for the community.
Absolutely.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if people have any questions, I know they're taking notes and they're writing this down, but if they have any questions, who can they call?
Well, they can call my office at the Nye Communities Coalition at 775-537-2795.
Okay.
And I will answer any questions about anything transportation related in the community. I have people that call me that say, I have a transportation need. What can I utilize? What do I need to do? It could be throughout the state, in other states, or into Las Vegas. So I make those connections for them. And then...
Okay, on the screen we have the Vet Trans program. So
Yep.
that's the number that you would call for Vet Trans. And we're going to be getting back to that in the next session. So I want you to stand by and be ready with your questions. We won't be able to hear you right now, but at least we'll know that you're there. So come back.